Hi folks, I'm Sean McCormick and welcome to the Lightroom blog channel. So today is Tuesday, so that means that it's Lightroom Tuesday, and we're going to look at snapshots and virtual copies inside of Lightroom. Hi folks, I'm back today and I have a new computer in front of me. Well, it's not a new computer, I've had it for a few months, but I was having terrible crashing problems with it, which turned out to be the memory, so it's all sorted out, and this is now my new computer in for the record position here, which is good. It takes a little bit to get used to because it is a 5K screen. I can't go back to the 24 inch after being on the 27 inch, it's just too small. Now, I am doing this in ScreenFlow as well. I had Camtasia set up, but I was having terrible problems recording. I'm not where I want to be just yet with the recording setup. I am looking to do some more stuff here with this, so I'm using the webcam at the moment for convenience. But I want to be able to bring in either the X-T2 or the X-T10 as video directly in. So I'm looking at an Elgato device that converts HDMI to USB for recording directly along my timeline. So hopefully that'll work out. I am going to talk about stuff now though. So here we have some Lightroom stuff. So there are two things that are related, and they are snapshots and virtual copies. Okay, so let's just start looking and see what they are, and then see what they don't have in common as well. So I'm going to take this image here, and I'm on a mouse rather than on a tablet today, so some things will take a little bit longer as I stretch around the place. I'm going to go into develop. Oh, I'm already in develop, and let me hide the history here for a second. So over here we have snapshots, and basically a snapshot is, we have like a huge set of history here of stuff that's been done on this image. And a snapshot is something that's very different than history. It is the settings on the image at that precise time. So I'm going to create a snapshot here and I'm going to call it start, because it's the start of our tutorial. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click black and white and just do a very rough black and white conversion there. So now I can come in here and I can do black and white, for example, here. So now I've created a black and white snapshot, and let me come in here and say I want to go back to color and I want to create something for tone. So I'm just going to grab something really quickly here, and I could possibly even grab something that I already have saved as a point curve here. Let's not go for an inversion, no. So used to having all the point curves on the other machine, I need to move them. So the opposite of red is cyan, so I'm going to make it more cyan in the shadows here. And then in blue I'm going to make it yellow here and just add some more blue to the... So I'm just creating kind of a toned look. So I'm going to call that toned. Right. So now we've created a couple of snapshots. So at any stage I can click and jump between the start look, my black and white look. So all good. So I can change between them really, really quickly. These do show up in the history as well, just so you can see them. But the idea is that I can create various different states of them. Now the snapshot doesn't necessarily have to be exactly as here. So for let's say example, I come in here and I go 4x5 and enter that. I can then go cropped. And so let's go to black and white. Okay, I'm not going to wait for it to jump in. So cropped, we can see is cropped. So you can have different crops in it as well. So it's not just that it's about the basic settings that are there. You can have pretty much anything saved as a snapshot. So snapshots are useful for just having different variations on the look of a file and getting to them very, very quickly. So you could jump between snapshots and export between snapshots and have the different versions go out, so that all that information is stored in one file. But there is a way where you can do it where you're not just dealing with one file. So what I'm actually going to do is I should actually going to stay and develop for a second. I'm going to click start here for a second, and I go photo, create virtual copy. Now in Aperture this was called versions, and in my On1 Photo Raw 2018 beta look, I talked about their version as well, which is also called versions. So these are virtual copies. So Lightroom were called virtual copy at the time to distinguish it from versions in Aperture. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about the sync thing. It's going to go to that sync thing because I've created this is a synced image, so it's because it's a virtual copy, it's creating a synced version of that. So what I can do here is I can click on black and white for my snapshot. If I go out to the grid, you can see we have two versions of the image that we can physically see. So with a snapshot, you can only see it when you click on the snapshot, but here we have two different versions of the image that are living inside our grid. Have I duplicated the file? No, I haven't. What what I've done is I've duplicated the preview inside the catalog. So that's about a megabyte versus say 50 megabytes for an uncompressed Xt2 RAW. Now these are CR2 files as it happens, so the original file is about 30 megabytes or thereabouts, but it's still, still 30 times the size of the previews. So they're useful for creating different variations as well. So let's say if I go and do this again, I can create another virtual copy. And it's going to go to that again, so let me know that again. It seems to want to let me know that forever. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to crop this one. Okay, so I'm literally just cropping it. Again, press G for grid to go back out to the grid. I'm not waiting for the preview to generate there. Because it's a 5K monitor, the previews take a little bit to generate. So we can see here from the shape that they're different. So I can also do things like set them at different star ratings. I can also change, I'm just going to press 6 there, I'll press 8 there. So we're giving it like different color labels as well. So they essentially act as if they're different files, but there is one master. Now I've come in here and I've done a crop on this one here. So if I go to develop, I can come in here and I can go cropped, black and white. So this is on a virtual copy. I know it's a virtual copy because in the grid, I've just pressed G for grid there. I have this little icon here, like a flipped turned page. So that's a virtual copy symbol to let me know that's a virtual copy. So I created a snapshot inside there, but if I go back to my original image and I press D for develop, we can see that the snapshot has gone back to the master image. Okay, so it doesn't matter where I create the snapshot, it goes into the master image of snapshots. That's great because your snapshots are saved in your XMP files, so they can be saved with the image separate to the catalog. Virtual copies don't live anywhere except inside the catalog. So a thing that you could do is inside your virtual copies when you're finished is create a snapshot that will write that information back to your master file. And so if you create a DNG, that image or the image information will travel with it. So all of your virtual copies can live as snapshots inside your image. So what's the benefit of virtual copies? That you get to see those previews straight away, and that you could have a set of 5 images that you export at the same time, instead of having to recall a snapshot, do an export, and so on. So there is a similarity and there are differences between snapshots and virtual copies. They're both very, very useful, and you should definitely think about using them in your workflow, especially if you're managing different sets of image, especially if you want black and white and color versions or toned versions of the images that you have. So folks, this is the kind of stuff that I do for Lightroom on Tuesdays. So if you like it, I would recommend subscribing. Please do if you haven't already. Like the video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And of course, hit the notification bell if you want to get notified of when new videos are online. I do photo stuff on Fridays and I do bonus videos as well. I think it's about time for a little chat about what's going on the channel, so I might do a video about that later in the week. I've actually got a workshop tomorrow that I'm going to do, so hopefully there might be some behind the scenes stuff from that as well, if I get time. Generally when I'm in workshop mode, I'm not considering what's happening except to give a good workshop for the people that have paid to be there. So folks, thanks for taking the time to watch this, and I will see you in the next video.